Ladies, let's be real. We've all been in that spot, staring at our phones, reading his messages over and over, trying to figure out what he really meant. Every emoji, every dot, every pause between replies. Does "hey you" mean he's into me? Is haha his way of flirting or just being polite? And what about that late night message? Was it because he misses me or just had nothing better to do? We analyze, we overthink. We even send screenshots to our best friend asking, "Girl, what do you think this means?" But the truth is, men aren't as confusing as we sometimes think. The way they text actually tells us everything we need to know. It's just about understanding the signs. So today, I'll break it all down. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to read a man's thoughts through his messages. And more importantly, you'll stop wasting energy on men who keep you unsure. How often he texts shows how interested he is. It's one of the easiest and clearest ways to tell where a guy stands. We as women often spend hours thinking about what the message said, how he worded it, if there was an emoji. But the biggest clue? It's how often he texts, not what he writes. Here's the real deal. When a man is truly into you, you won't have to overthink. His actions will be obvious. Think about it. When you're excited about something, a new job, a party, a show you love, you talk about it, you share it, it's on your mind. Now apply that same thinking to a man who genuinely likes you. If he's into you, if he's thinking about you, if he wants something real, then texting you will come naturally. You won't need to remind him or chase him. Too many women get caught in this loop of making excuses for a man who doesn't message regularly. Maybe he's really busy, they say. Maybe he just doesn't like texting. But here's something you need to understand. No man is ever too busy to message someone he truly wants to talk to. We live in a time where phones are practically glued to our hands. A guy who's interested won't forget that he can send a quick text. If he's not messaging you often, it's likely because you're not on his mind the way you should be. So what does consistent texting really look like? It doesn't mean he's blowing up your phone every 10 minutes. It doesn't mean you're chatting non-stop all day. But there will be a steady rhythm. There will be a clear effort. Maybe he sends a quick good morning text. Maybe he checks in during the day or brings up something you talked about earlier. Maybe he doesn't let more than a day or two pass without reaching out. On the flip side, when a man's messages are all over the place, super chatty one day, then silent the next, that's a warning sign. That type of behavior usually means he's keeping his options open, not fully involved, or only texting when it suits him. This is where many women start to get in their own heads. He's texting a lot one day, so she feels hopeful. Then he pulls away, and she starts wondering if she did something wrong. But here's the truth. This hot and cold behavior is not about anything you did. It's about where he is emotionally. One of the best things you can do while dating is to stop making excuses for men who don't show up. If he's texting only now and then, disappearing and popping back without saying why, or if he's not putting in steady effort, then he's showing you he's not as into it as you are. And you know what? That's okay. The real problem isn't his lack of texting. The real issue is when you start believing this type of inconsistency is acceptable. Even though deep down you know it makes you feel unsure and overlooked. When a man truly values you, he will make an effort to show it. Part of showing that he cares is making sure you never have to guess how he feels. You won't be glued to your phone, checking constantly to see if he replied. Instead, you'll feel calm and sure of the connection because his consistent messages will let you know he wants to talk to you, and is thinking about you. Let's talk about a major mistake many women make with inconsistent texters. They try to make up for his lack of effort by giving more themselves. If he doesn't message, she's the one to start the conversation. If he disappears for a couple of days, she checks in. If he's giving her the bare minimum, she holds on to those tiny bits and tells herself it's enough. But here's something you should remember. It should never be this hard to get a man to engage with you. When a man is serious about you, you won't feel like you're chasing him. You won't feel like you're always reminding him that you exist. His texting will reflect how he feels, and you'll sense his interest through how regularly he connects. He won't only message when he's bored, when he wants something, or when there's nothing else going on. He'll text because he likes talking to you and wants to grow something real. Now let's address something we hear a lot. What if he's just not into texting? Sure, not every guy loves chatting on the phone all day. But even men who aren't big texters still find ways to connect when they're interested. Maybe he prefers to call. Maybe his texts are shorter, but they still come often. Maybe he focuses more on planning dates than on chatting all day. That's okay too. The main thing is that you feel like a priority. Whether he sends 1 sentence or 10, you should feel like he's making an effort to be part of your world. So how should you handle it when a guy's texting is unpredictable? Here's a simple but powerful answer. Mirror his energy. If he's messaging you regularly, then great. Reply and enjoy the exchange. But if his messages are coming in randomly, don't push. Don't follow up. Don't try to start a conversation when he's giving little to nothing. Take a step back and observe. If he notices and starts putting in more effort, maybe he just needed a little space. But if he doesn't adjust, then you have your answer. He wasn't really in it. One of the strongest moves you can make in dating is refusing to put in one-sided effort. If a man isn't showing up consistently, believe him. Let him be who he's showing you he is, instead of trying to change him. Because when the right man comes along, you won't be left wondering where you stand. So next time you catch yourself staring at your phone, waiting for a message that's taking forever to arrive, ask yourself this: do I really want to be with someone who leaves me feeling unsure? Or do I want someone who's steady and consistent? Someone who makes me feel wanted without needing to guess? Now let's talk about the waiting game, something we've all faced. You send a message and wait. 5 minutes pass, then 10, then maybe an hour. You see the typing bubble pop up for a second, then disappear. Suddenly, you're in detective mode. Did I say something wrong? Should I message again? We've all done it. But here's what you need to know. Response time says a lot. When a guy is genuinely excited about you, he usually replies fast. Why? Because when we're interested in someone, we want to talk to them. It's just natural. Think about it. If your best friend sent you amazing news, you wouldn't leave her waiting 6 hours. You'd reply fast because you care. Now think of a man who's into you. If he's really interested, he's not going to just ignore your message for no reason. Even if he's busy, at work, working out, handling errands, he'll usually find a way to let you know. Maybe he can't talk right away, but he'll drop a quick note saying reply later. Maybe, as soon as he's free, he checks his phone and answers you. That kind of awareness shows he wants to keep the connection going. But what about the guys who always take hours, or worse, days, to respond? This is where a lot of women start making excuses. He's probably just not into texting. Maybe he's really busy. He probably saw it and forgot. But be honest with yourself. When you really like someone, how often do you forget to reply? Probably not often. That's because when someone matters to you, messaging them isn't a burden. It's something you want to do. A man who likes you won't leave you waiting while he scrolls on social media, watches videos and ignores your message. Sometimes a guy starts off texting quickly and then slows down. If this happens over time, he might be losing interest. Some men are really enthusiastic in the beginning but can't keep that level of effort going. When the excitement of the chase wears off, so does their attention. That's when many women start trying harder, sending more messages, filling in the silence, trying to keep things going. But if a man is pulling back, don't chase, watch. Let him show you how much he really wants to be there. Not every slowdown is bad. If he's still engaging, still making plans, still showing care, he may just be settling into a more natural pace. Not every guy will text the same way forever, but if his effort is fading in every area, that's worth noticing. Some women fall into the trap of trying to reverse things by using silence. If I don't reply quickly, maybe he'll realize he misses me and start trying harder. But think about it. Do you want to be with someone who only puts in effort when you play games? The right man doesn't need to be tricked into caring. He shows up because he wants to. So when a guy is taking too long to reply, what should you do? Match his pace. Don't sit by your phone stressing. Live your life, spend time with friends, focus on your goals, do things that make you feel alive. When you're busy enjoying your world, you'll stop giving your energy to people who don't deserve it. And when he finally replies, ask yourself, do I feel calm and confident, or did I spend the whole day waiting and worrying? Because at the end of the day, how fast he texts you back isn't just about time, it's about how much he truly cares. He's showing you that you're just an option and not a priority. And let me leave you with this. You don't have to convince the right man to message you. You don't have to overanalyze how fast he replies or wonder if he's too busy or think of ways to make him miss you. The right man will show up for you every time without you having to chase after him. So, the next time you find yourself staring at your phone, waiting for a message that's taking too long, I want you to shift your thinking. Instead of blaming yourself or wondering what you did, ask yourself, is this the type of energy I want in my world? Because the right man won't keep you waiting. He'll be excited to talk to you. And when a man is truly excited about you, you won't have to doubt it. What he says in texts shows you his intentions when trying to understand a man's real purpose. The content of his messages speaks loudly. Too many women focus on how often a guy texts instead of what he's actually saying. They think, well, he messages me every day, so that must mean he's into me, right? But the truth is, being consistent without meaning doesn't always show true interest. What he says, the effort he makes in the chat, and the subjects he chooses are what really show his level of interest and whether he sees a future with you. Let's start with and how he joins the conversation. A guy who genuinely wants to know. You will ask real questions, meaningful ones that go deeper than simple small talk. He won't just say, "How was your day?" and then reply with a plain "nice" when you answer. Instead, he'll respond if you tell him work was stressful. He won't stop at a simple response. He'll follow up with "what happened?" or "that sounds like a rough day. How are you feeling now?" A man who is truly into you will remember what you share. If you tell him about a big presentation coming up on Friday, he'll message on Friday to ask how it went. If you mention your favorite coffee place, he might suggest meeting there. These small things show he's emotionally and mentally paying attention to you. But if a guy's texts are always vague, boring, or only serve a basic purpose, it's a sign he's either not serious or not available emotionally. Some men just text to keep a connection alive without growing it. They'll send a random, "Hey, how's it going?" every once in a while. Just enough to stay in your mind, but not enough to make you feel really wanted. These men like knowing you're still interested in them, but they don't plan to take it further if all his messages are shallow, filled with simple compliments or light flirting. he's probably just passing time and not trying to create something real. Then you have men who only message when they want something. Maybe it's attention, maybe it's approval, maybe it's something physical. Their messages follow a pattern. They show up late at night when they're bored or when they want last-minute plans. Then they vanish for days or weeks, only to return with a, "Hey stranger," or "I was just thinking about you." These texts are meant to pull you back in just enough to keep your attention, but they don't carry any real emotional effort. This type of texting clearly shows he's not looking for something deep. He's looking for something easy. How a man texts also shows how he views relationships and closeness. A guy who's open, warm and steady in his messages is likely someone who is ready to be emotionally present. He's okay with sharing what he thinks, how he feels, what's going on in his life. He doesn't text just to fill time. He does it to build a connection. He chooses his words carefully and shows effort in the way he interacts with you. He's not just talking to talk. He's texting to bring you closer. On the flip side, a guy who avoids emotion will keep his messages short, dry, or distant. He may avoid deeper chats, steer away from talking about feelings, or use jokes and distractions. If you bring up something personal or serious, he might ignore it or respond with humor. This kind of texting shows that he's either not ready for emotional depth or he doesn't want to go there with you. And if he's not open over text, he's probably not going to be open in person either. Another way to see a man's true motives through his texts is to notice if he tries to take the connection off the phone. A man who's really into you won't only text just to keep the conversation going. He'll use messages to plan real meetups. He'll ask when you're free, suggest spending time together, and follow through. He's not just going back and forth for the sake of it. He's using texting to build something more. If he's always texting but never asking to meet in real life, that's nothing to think about. Some men use texts as a way to stay close without having to commit. They'll keep the messages coming. They'll flirt and make you feel wanted with their words, but they never move things forward. This often happens when a man likes the attention but doesn't want to take the relationship seriously. If the whole connection stays on your phone, ask yourself, is he really interested or just enjoying easy access without effort? Also, watch how he reacts when you share your feelings or needs. If you say something that matters to you, does he listen and respond kindly, or does he ignore it? Change the topic or make you feel like you're asking for too much. A man's ability to talk through things over text shows his emotional maturity and if he's ready for a real relationship. If he only wants to talk when everything is light and fun, but goes quiet, or upset when things get real, that says a lot about his emotional readiness. Another important thing to notice is whether he shares his life with you through text. Does he tell you what his day was like, what he's thinking about, his plans, or his emotions? Or do you always feel like you have to ask a bunch of questions to get anything out of him? A man who truly values you will want to include you in his daily life. He won't just respond to your questions. He'll start conversations himself because he wants to share his world with you. And one of the biggest things to look for in a man's texts is whether his words match his actions. Some guys know how to say all the right things, but never back them up. They'll send sweet messages, make grand promises, and say how much they care, but when it's time to show it in real life, they're nowhere to be found. If he's full of sweet talk in texts, but doesn't actually follow through, then those words are empty. Notice whether what he says matches what he does, because nice messages are easy, but real effort and consistency matter most when it comes down to it. A man's texting habits say a lot more than we think. When a guy truly likes you, his text will be consistent, thoughtful, and have meaning. He'll message you to connect, not just to avoid being bored. He'll ask about your life, remember what you say, and show he's really interested in you. He'll use text to grow something meaningful, not just to feel good about himself or pass the time. And most importantly, he'll make you feel sure of where you stand, not unsure about his interest. So next time you find yourself thinking too hard about his texts, take a moment and look at the full picture. Do his messages make you feel cared for and important? Or do they leave you feeling anxious, unsure, or like you have to keep proving your worth? Because if a man really wants you, he won't just message you. He'll make sure you know he's serious. And that's something you should never have to wonder about. When it comes to texting, effort equals emotional interest. A man's level of effort in his texts directly shows how much he cares. It's not just how often he messages, but how he does it. The thought, care, and energy he brings to your chats shows how much he values you. Think back to a time when you were really excited about someone. Did you wait forever to reply? Did you give short, dry answers? Of course not. You gave it your all because you truly wanted to talk to them. Men work the same way. If he's into you, you'll see it, his messages won't be dry or shallow. He'll talk about things that matter. He'll ask how your day went, not out of duty, but because he really wants to know. He'll remember small things you've mentioned and bring them up later to show that he listens. On the other hand, when a man's effort starts to drop, it usually means his interest is fading. Maybe he used to send sweet, thoughtful messages and now it's just, hey, or what's up? Maybe he used to start conversations, but now only replies when you text first. If you're the only one trying to keep the conversation alive, that's a warning sign. Relationships, no matter what stage, should never feel one-sided. Texting effort isn't just about how often, it's about how consistent it is. A man who's serious won't go hard for a few days, then vanish for a week. He won't switch from sending long, caring messages to giving one-word answers. Suddenly, emotional effort doesn't come. And it's stay strong. It doesn't mean he needs to message you all day every day, but it does mean he keeps the bond alive even when life gets busy. Another clear sign of effort is when a man texts with a reason. Some guys just text to waste time. Others do it to know you better, to grow the relationship, and to make real plans. If he's always messaging but never trying to move beyond the phone, that's not true effort. A man who's serious about you will line up his words with actions. He won't just say he wants to see you, he'll set a date. He won't just throw compliments through the screen. He'll show you how much you matter in person. Pay attention to how he texts when things are tough. Does he still talk when there's a disagreement, or does he go quiet? Does he try to comfort you when you're upset, or does he brush it off? Effort isn't just cute emojis and good morning texts. It's being there when things are hard. It's communication when it's uncomfortable, and maturity when it's needed at the end of the day. A man who really cares about you will want to give effort. You won't have to beg for attention or analyze every message. His actions through text and in real life will show you that you matter. So if you're wondering where you stand with someone, stop focusing only on how often he messages and look at how much heart he puts into it, because effort isn't just a sign of interest, it's proof of emotional investment. The biggest clue to a man's real feelings is how steady he is. One sweet message doesn't mean he's in love, and one slow reply doesn't mean he's lost interest. It's the steady pattern that shows the truth. If he's showing up every day making you feel safe and putting in steady effort, then he's serious. But if he's up and down loving one day then cold the next, he's either unsure or keeping his options open. Here's the bottom line: stop overthinking each text and start paying attention to the patterns when a man really wants you. His behavior will make you feel wanted, safe, and important. If you're always left guessing how he feels, that's your answer. He's not doing enough to give you clarity, so next time you catch yourself overthinking a message, ask yourself, does the way he texts make me feel chosen or confused? If it's the second one, then you deserve more, and the right man will never leave you unsure.